With a world filled with so many problems, it's hard to know which thing or which solution, which option, opportunity will strike us with gold, to put it lightly, and to put it in a nice little pun here. But for the most part, in a world like the one we're currently living in today, with our dependence and over reliance on things like the internet and multiple forms of also putting forms of information and ideas out there to multitudes of people, it's more than a rat race, I would say, to the very top. And today on our episode of Sides of the Internet, we have two very intriguing and some would say likable uh, guys here who are going to present some very hungry people some ideas they have in hopes of all being able to coincide and coalesce together enough to bring the masses some new innovation. So let's go ahead and see what these two geniuses have for us today.
Hello, Dragons. My name is Paul Lobo.
What up, Paul?
This is Barry Ritchie.
Hey, Barry.
Our company is Air Oasis Limited. The purpose of us
Alright.
being here is we want £125,000 of your money. And in
125,000.
return, we
How much?
will give you 10% equity in our company.
Ooh,
Our product
£125,000 for
produces
10%
water
equity, huh?
out of air. And Barry is now going to give you a brief presentation on our product.
I beg your
Dragons,
pardon?
what I'm
What do
gonna do
you
first of
what do
all
you
is
guys
just give you a
do?
And
Give us
equity
that again.
in our company. Our product produces water out of air.
Ah, okay.
And Barry is now going to give you
I
a
thought I was
brief
just hearing bull crap.
presentation on our product.
Okay.
Hello, Dragons. What I'm going to do first of all is just give you a very quick scientific experiment, just to show you what the end product that comes out of our machine, which is the pure
Barry,
drinking
the
water
science
itself.
guy.
Paul, if you'd like to pour me a glass of tap water from there, I'm going to take a glass from our machine, which we'll come into shortly. And this is water that's been made out of the air in the last hour. What we're actually going to do very quickly is just pop this
This was made from
electrolyzer
fart
in,
air.
which is going to pass a small electric current through this water.
NFT.
And shortly, that will come up as a colour. And
2
it'll show you
Bitcoin.
basically what's in this water. What we're looking for in the ideal water, it comes up yellow. This just shows that there's separated mineral grains in the water. With the other water in which we have here, this will go probably obviously a different colour, and it will show what's in there. As we're leaving that to fizz for a little while, I'll just tell you a little bit about this machine. We have the exclusive sole distribution rights to sell this machine throughout the United Kingdom. We also have Iran, Syria, as well as Sri Lanka, India, and Nepal.
A
The
bunch of
air
shady
is sucked
places in the
through
UK,
side
which is
here.
even shadier.
It runs through a condensing unit like a dehumidifier.
Okay.
They'll then pass through a 7-stage filtration system and a UV light to kill any bacteria whatsoever that's in the water,
Light.
providing you with the purest, freshest drinking water on the planet.
What was that on top of it?
£4 million a day is being spent on bottled water in this country. We believe by educating the public and showing them
Those
our
are some,
water
like,
is much better than bottled water.
There are, like,
And
some
we believe that this
nasty, like,
machine,
heaters
with
for,
its
like, the-
electricity and running costs that produce water at 7 pence a litre is going to
Those little things, and the reason I chose to do this because I've seen what happens, and it's pretty obvious from the little search thing here that I'm looking for pyramid schemes or cons. But this thing, I don't know what they're doing. They're obviously up to some tomfoolery here. But this stuff reminds me a lot of when I worked at at an amusement place. They would have me scooping ice cream, right? And they had this kind of machine that was similar that was used to basically keep some of the ice cream scoopers from not getting so disgusting. But beyond that point, this right here looks like that, and this right here doesn't look too so I don't know what it is they're trying to prove with this already.
spent on bottled water in this country. We believe by educating the public and
Okay.
showing them our water is much better than bottled water, and we believe that this machine, with its electricity and running costs that produce water at 7 pence a litre, is going to change the way in which people buy water in this country. This is from the tap. That's what you clean your vegetables in, and this is our water, ice cold.
That's the water
just
that
with
he peed
separated
in,
mineral
huh?
grains. And we're welcome to take any questions you may have.
Bold claims about the purity and great taste of their water, ambitious plans for market penetration. Barry Ritchie and Paul Lobo's pitch for £125,000 of investment in their company Air
Look at
Oasis certainly
That's some
hasn't
Tim
lacked
and Eric
confidence.
machine.
But what's behind their confident claims? Theo Pafitis wants to
Barry's
know.
already starting to get nervous. Look at that face.
Barry Paul, I'm Theo.
Hi, Theo. Nice to meet
Right.
you.
7p a litre
Yes.
sounds cheap when you compare it with bottled water,
Yes.
but it's not cheap when you compare it to just filter, because there's units.
Thank you.
like
This
that.
is
There's
filtered.
filters,
This
there's
comes
That's
from
right,
a
without
filtered
question.
water.
Without
Yeah.
question.
The difference is these don't need a water supply, so they will be very good in humid countries
Without question.
where you can't get water to a unit.
Most definitely.
So the UK market's not actually going to be a very good market for this, is it?
Well, I think it is actually. There's a lot of people that are interested in reducing their carbon footprint at the moment.
Talk to me about it. How
48 million
How
pounds.
does this
Here we go.
reduce my carbon footprint?
Okay, let's just look at the 808,000 machines that are out there at the moment with big plastic bottles on the top. The plastic, there's no plastic, there's
Barry.
no bottled water, there's no diesel.
Barry, see, here we go. Barry, we're already facing a big problem. Your machine's connected to the electricity, homie. This came from a filtered little Brita filter, right? Take or give whatever opinion you have on these pieces of crap, too. It's not wasting electricity. Carbon footprint's already down a little bit. What other argument are you going to have against that one? Oh, you don't have to go out there and get one of those filters no more, so it just gets your... What if I just walk to the store? Well, the processing time that takes to... Your machines are being manufactured, so where are you going to start arguing about the Brita filters? See, this is my reaction to that, too.
There's no John in his shorts coming up to get all the bottles. So the whole process...
Mine are plumbed in. I've already dealt with it. They're all plumbed in.
Okay, well then...
No, Johnny doesn't turn up in his shorts.
Okay.
Right? It doesn't deliver anything.
But you're comparing a Mini with a Rolls Royce, because at the end of the day, the
Oh,
water this
here we
produces,
go.
this is not Sainsbury's
Using
vodka.
an
This is the
analogy.
best vodka.
The Dragons are feeling the full force of Barry's bullish sales pitch. James Kahn decides to seek refuge in the company's finances.
Are you renting these, leasing these, or selling these?
Selling.
What's
no
the price?
renting, no leasing. We're selling this. This machine sells at £699.
Yep.
We have a domestic unit that converts tap water into pure water, which we're selling at £500.
And what is it
Okay.
costing you to buy these?
They're coming into me at £318.
He's the one making the
into
water.
Okay, and you're going to retail that to the end user at 600.
£699. That's using a direct sales force.
Come on, Barry. You
By
can't work
selling
better than your
direct to
machine over
consumers,
here.
Barry and Paul are confident of healthy margins.
Paul
But
over here,
Duncan
too.
Bannatyne thinks he's spotted a flaw in their plans.
Duncan Valentine is always spotting
No, tell you what I
flaws
don't
in
like about this
anything.
is something you said in your pitch. What you're going to do is educate the public. You haven't explained how you're going to educate the public, and you're not going to educate the public. The public are going to continue using tap water or drinking bottled water.
Duncan, as soon as you do this test, which is very visual,
Paul,
it really,
Paul,
that's the education.
Paul, you can't travel around the country knocking on people's doors, going in with 2 glasses of
course
water.
you
and
would,
saying to
dude.
people, look at the difference.
You're
by running these
shameless.
machines." You can't do that.
Yes, we can.
You
Okay.
can't educate the public.
We've just got 100 kits in little cases. This is like the Kirby vacuum cleaner. This is
Oh,
the
God,
bugs
here
under
we
the- on
go.
the bed under the microscope. We've got
You
300
wanna bring
people signed up
Herbalife
already
into the mix
to
too,
go out
dude?
door to door on commission only, part-time hairdressers, mothers.
You wanna talk about
The
Avon?
point I'm making isn't that you can't go around knocking on doors. The point I'm making is you can't afford to go around knocking on doors. There isn't enough money in it to go around knocking on doors. and saying
That
to people, "Look,
face.
will you let me come in and show you these 2 glasses of water and show you the difference, and then you can buy my machine for 500 quid.
Okay, but there is, because it doesn't cost.
I wouldn't even waste and humor him. I'd be like, Paul, Barry, you're talking about cutting down all this carbon footprint, right? And all this emissions. Why are you going all around the country then to tell us how you're cutting down emissions there? He's not doing any of that. He's not, of course, not thinking about saying that either, because he also doesn't care about the carbon footprint either. But the point is, why are you even like arguing with him? Just tell him like you realize that what you're telling me that your machine is helping do, you're actually making worse by just getting in your car, going out there trying to educate the public when you're actually just harassing a lot of people that probably don't want you to go and I don't know, do the old door to door inconveniencing of people when they're just trying to go about their life after they've been working for little to nothing.
We've bought all the kits. The people are taken on a part-time commission-only basis. They get £100
Oh,
a sale. They do
commissions?
3 in a week. They get 150
That's great.
per
That's
sale.
what people
It's
always love
good
to hear in a
old-fashioned
competitive
pyramid,
market.
multi-level direct
Commissions.
marketing.
Barry,
Barry, have you ever sold Kirby vacuum cleaners?
surprise,
Well,
surprise.
there you go. I had
Well,
to
of course
ask
he sold a Kirby.
Barry, you run the risk of talking yourself back down those stairs without an investment.
She would throw them out of the
reason I
stairs
asked
if
if
she
you've been a
could.
Kirby selling person is that I could have told you were, because actually what you used to do is stand in people's room, bombard them and
There you
barrage
go.
them exactly the way you're trying to do with us now until they capitulate and
Look at
buy
that. That
carpet
smug
cleaner.
face.
I've seen the selling techniques, which
Yep.
I have to say really, really annoys me.
Yeah,
You are
I hate
talking
that.
about a pyramid selling scheme. I've got
Look, it was funny for me growing up because I've been on my own for the most part since I was 16, right? And I've had about my own place since I was about 18, and on and off, it's never been like consistent, something about like markets and economics and thing like that to kind of keep it to where it's hard to maintain that. But anyways, more important point here is that I've had people like this come and knock on my house, like on my doors and stuff, solicit me and bother. And never once have any one of them knocked on the door and not asked for my parents. It's the most hilarious thing. And I gotta say, there's been times where I don't have pink hair and I don't. Black hair is what I naturally have, and I was born with it. But there hasn't been one time where one of them hasn't knocked on the door and it just starts trying to sell me stuff. They all will right away ask, "Is your mom or dad or a legal guardian here?" I'm like, "No, they're not." "Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, see you later."
Gotta tell you, for me, that is a combination that I would run a mile from.
Okay, that's fine.
So I have no reason to invest. I'm out.
Okay.
Good for you. Go
The
waste your money on
atmosphere
something
in the
else.
den is darkening. A furious Deborah Meaden wants nothing to do with the duo.
Deborah.
And she's not the only dragon to be alien.
Deborah is savage. Deborah does not. No, we don't. Yeah. How about stop doing all of these dead drops? Anyways. Yeah. Deborah is savage.
As a business proposition, does this excite me for
Look at
£150,000? No. Working with Barry would just drive me crazy. I don't think I could handle it.
Barry,
And for
quit
those reasons,
smiling. Oh
guys,
my
I'm out.
god, he's so smug. Yeah, dude, why are you so surprised?
Two
Look at you.
dragons are out. So far, Barry's been dominating proceedings.
He's
But
been
Peter
dominating
Jones
his
wants to
machine
know
too. He's
more
making
about
more
his
water than
business
the
partner.
machine's making.
Paul, how do you work with this guy?
He's all I
very
don't.
well.
Do you keep-
I love his enthusiasm.
No. I get Barry. I don't get you.
Lever in
Do you
the
do
product?
everything Barry says?
No, not at all.
That's
Not
the
at
whole,
all.
that's the benefit. When two
That's-
men in a business always agree, one of them is unnecessary.
Well, how much money have you made? Have you got money to put into it?
Yes, I have. I put
How
in
much?
£150,000.
And how much did Barry put in?
150,000 of your own cash.
Yes.
And Barry?
I'm about 50 and about $1 million in hard work.
Have you got any more money, Paul?
Ha.
Of course, I've got more money.
There we go. Paul didn't talk much, so it goes to already have told me from the beginning, where don't want to say the brains, because obviously not the brains, but it's obvious where all the sweat and the scheme is coming from. He has been putting in $1 million, but he's been putting in $1 million when it comes to trying to avoid any actual work to maintain an actual working machine or a business. I don't know. I said the business. First they tell you can't change the future. Hop,
How
Barry.
much more money have you got?
Well, I don't think that concerns you.
It does concern me.
How much money have you got?
Probably about 10 million in the bank, let's say.
Well, I don't think that's a valid
roll
question.
down those
Well, I'll tell
shades.
you
we
why
got a
it's valid
Thug Life
question.
moment.
If you've got the money, why aren't you putting the
Right,
bloody
let
money on the
us
table?
explain why.
Want to explain?
We want your expertise, your knowledge, so that we can.
Your dry
really
forehead.
Go,
Well, why should I give you money for you to get knowledge from me?
well, we're not a charity. We're not going to let you have
What do you
equity.
mean you're
in
not
our
a charity? You want knowledge from me and my money.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That's why we're
I
here.
haven't got mug written over my forehead, you know.
An enraged
He's all, no, but you seem to have git writ all over you instead. No, but seriously, it's funny seeing all of these, like, corporate crocodiles try to eat at over here at this other, like, conniving shark.
Peter Jones has blasted the duo. The Dragons are clearly infuriated by the entrepreneurs themselves.
Why? They see some truth in themselves or what?
Barry and Paul's only hope now is to salvage their pitch by proving their water tastes as good as they say.
He's
Buddy,
all,
it tastes terrible.
oh my god.
We've had all these conversations, but nobody's sort of tasting the water.
Is that, has it been that long?
Taste that water.
That's because it's warm, that's why.
Unusual taste.
Put something in.
I haven't.
There's
You just
something.
gave me out of there.
Don't be
Yeah,
clean
it's
glass.
Barry's
There's
sweat.
something in it.
Nothing
Barry
in it.
is
Use your
sweat.
glass and go and get a drink.
You guys are
Hot water.
drinking Barry's sweat.
Mayhem erupts in the den.
It's got nothing to do
It's
with
not
cold,
e-girl
it's nothing.
sweat. It's
The Dragons
Barry's
declare
sweat.
Barry and Paul's water to be totally unpalatable.
My kids will throw that back at you.
Theo
Your kids
Papitis
would throw anything
demands an
at them.
explanation.
You're probably
Taste it.
rude, spoiled rich
Does
kids.
it taste terrible or not?
It doesn't taste terrible, but it certainly doesn't taste as good as it should do.
It doesn't
but the
taste
machine
like
has
water.
Not, but it's a brand spanking new
What does it
machine that
taste
needs to be
like,
fluffed
then?
and everything else properly. This is why it's
No,
here.
Flush.
it needs to
Oh,
be
it tastes
set
like
up
toilet
for
water
a
then.
longer period
Yes,
of time
exactly. And it takes
in
4
order
or
for
5 hours to get it working properly.
So
What
you-
is the temperature of that, Barry?
21 degrees.
Just listen to me, 'cause I'm getting really annoyed now. I'm complaining
He was giving
not
them
about the
coffee
temperature,
water.
but the fact it's got a terrible, appalling aftertaste. So don't
They
make
all got the
excuses about
runs
the
after
temperature.
they stopped
I'm
filming.
out.
He was mad. He was
It's all but
offended
over
by
for
the
Barry and
water.
Paul. They've been blasted by Theo Papitis. Now Duncan Bannatyne and Peter Jones step forward
I never seen people more offended to drink water than these four, like, entitled business people.
to have their say.
You know, the thing, what
Barry and
gets
Paul
me
are
is this.
cheese over here.
You did all these tests in this water to show your water is the best.
Yes,
Then I tested your water,
yes.
and it's rubbish. We all tested it, we all said the same thing. And then you said that's because that machine hasn't been flushed.
In order for you to see our machine in its full operation,
Let's see.
it would have been fair for this machine to be here overnight.
Ah,
Then it would have been.
Well, you've gone from
they would have
overnight.
done justice.
Okay.
You've gone from an hour and a half to all night now. You know, but it doesn't really answer my question. And you know, I'm not going to invest in it. So
So remember, when you buy a car, when you get a house, when you get a part, anything of that sort, in order to make sure that you get your money's worth and that it works to the fullest of its capability, you always want to leave it running overnight, just like Paul's.
I'm out.
Paul, Barry, you've basically brought a product here that lives or dies on the back of the quality that it produces.
Can I say, in all the times that we've tasted that water, amongst you dragons, that's the first time that's been like this.
Maybe they got COVID or you got COVID. Oh, demonetized
I think enough
again.
has been said by everybody else, and I don't think you're here necessarily to be insulted. So, good luck in your endeavours, but I'm
Thank
not
you.
going to invest in the business, and I'm out.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Barry and Paul have felt the full force of the Dragon's wrath. It may have been a confident start, but it takes more than a forceful sales pitch to part the Dragons from their cash.
So what did we learn? It's not easy trying to rip off bigger rip-offs when it comes to being in front of the camera and having hot blasting lights put on you while the hosts of the show have nice ventilation going to add a dramatic effect. Beyond that, I think Paul and Barry didn't learn very much about their machine and will probably did continue to try to either pull the wool over there or other people's eyes and Well, to that, I'm not gonna commend them. I'm not gonna say anything clever. To that, that's that. I hope that whoever was unfortunate enough to taste that water wasn't as awful as these, you know, dragons, as they call them on this version, were claiming to. Because if that water was that hot and it tasted that bad, some people ran to the bathroom after this wrapped up. And just like that, I'm about to go run to the bathroom myself. So I'll see you guys around. And thank you for being here with us for another edition of Sights of the Internet. Thank you.